Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Magical Witchy World TV. I am Star Ravenhawk, and my partner in crime, Rhonda, is unable to be here tonight, but I am here, and we are happy to have our wonderful guest, Andrieh Vitimus, and he'll be joining us here tonight. So here we go, on with the show, okay? Hold on.
It's a magical, witchy world. It's a magical, witchy world.
Hi, and welcome, everyone. And as I said, we have a guest, Andrieh Vitimus. Andrieh, it's such a pleasure having you here tonight. Glad to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me. I know we had a little bit of technical problems at first, but it's what? It all works out in the end, right?
Yes, it does. It does. And we are glad to have you here tonight. As we always do, we will read our guest bio. So you'll get to learn a little bit about him before we begin the questions that we want to ask him. So Andrieh Vitimus is an author known for his work, Hands-on Chaos Magic, Reality Manipulation Through a Vaki Current. He has been featured in over 40 journals and teaches worldwide. To make complex occult and esoteric concepts accessible to readers, he incorporates experimental exercises, personal anecdotes, and psychological frameworks into his explanations. Blending rigorous occult theory with real-world application, Andrieh uses data science and statistics to go beyond faith-based magical operations towards testable real-world results through magic. Andrieh is a shared owner of the Wuji One Life, Wellness, and Queen City Curio Center in Toronto, where he is the lead priest, a diviner, and hypnotist. Thank you so much, Andrieh, for being here with us tonight. He is from my hometown, Toronto.
Represent, like 416,
Yeah.
416.
Always good to have one of us in the house, right? Okay.
I think we went to two different directions. I used to live in the United States, and then right around COVID, I sort of met somebody and moved up to Canada to be with them. So
you're not originally from Toronto?
no, I'm originally from Chicago, and
oh my God, that's awesome!
and spent a huge amount of time in living in Ohio, in Cleveland.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so an American who is now living in in Toronto. How are you liking it in Toronto so far?
I mean, I love it. I love being up in Canada. My wife and my kid, obviously they're here. I can't complain, except for winter this year. I could complain about the winter up here this year, which doesn't seem to want to go away.
Well, it's kind of like that here too. It's been overly snowy and cold and everything between Washington and Wisconsin. I heard 20 inches came down to Wisconsin, so it's a lot. It's everywhere. It's not just in Toronto.
Not just Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've caught up with that, so as usual, we've been looking forward to this conversation with you. So one of the first questions we always ask everyone, because we know that you don't just end up where you are. Okay, it takes kind of years, and you begin somewhere. So over the years, some people might refer to themselves, I don't know, as whatever you want to call yourself. And then as the time goes by, you change what you see yourself as and what you refer to yourself as. That evolving kind of takes place. So what I would like to have you tell me is that arc that you took, and from where you began, what you refer to yourself as, and where you ended up.
Yeah, I mean, I think initially I was pretty skeptical. So I think I would have had the skeptic label on all of this stuff being not real. And I think we've graduated to sort of magician level at this point. But I'll respond saying I'm witch. I kind of, what I really like to be called is just a human being, honestly.
Uh-huh.
because I kind of have started to inherently believe everyone could do magic. They just got to get the training.
Yeah.
Um, so everyone can do this stuff and better their life. They just got to get the skill set.
Yeah, right, right, right. Oh, okay. Awesome. So you never really called yourself anything else. You're just saying I'm a human being and that's just what it is. Because
Uh, you know what? I think if anyone refers to me with a non-pejorative, I'll probably respond. Um, but I think my practice has become very shamanic lately, um, in a sort of animist way.
Mhm.
Um, very, very astral based. But as chaos magicians, we sort of have a tendency to paradigm shift. So we kind of break the box of labels.
Right.
Because one week will be a sorcerer, the next week will be doing stuff that looks a little bit more like astral magic or false magic. Another week we're sort of might be doing more ritual magic. But right now, I mean, and that's sort of a feature of chaos magic in a way, is that
Okay.
we'll switch paradigms as sort of necessary. Um, and sometimes the labels can hold you back from that. So
Right, right, right. Okay. All right. Um, so what would you say brought you to this world of of different types of magics or magic in general across the board?
I
What was
think I
the
had a very rough time initially when I was starting magic. Like, I did not want to believe this stuff. No, nothing. Totally skeptical. The universe, however, had very different ideas about whether or not I should believe or not believe in
right,
all this stuff. And I think there was one period of time where uh, I was having so much trouble in my life. And a lot of my family was sort of into this, but I was the skeptical one. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. And I was down in like Urbana, Champaign, and I was trying to get a master's degree. And I thought I was going crazy, you know, continuously, because all I would see is shadows moving. And that went on for a whole year. I was trying to be like, well, maybe I need some serious medications, you know, until my roommate said, you know, you're a pretty cool guy, except for when the shadows move without you moving. And that freaks us out.
okay.
I said, wait, what? What do you
So they
mean you
noticed. They
see?
noticed.
What do you mean these are not magical people? I mean, they're a little bit gothy people, but they're not magical people. And they're telling me that. And I'm like, what do you mean the shadows move without in random patterns that unnerve us?
Okay.
Uh,
See, there you go.
and the same sort of thing, you know, like happened continuously, you know. They just freaked me out at first, but I had to sort of get used to it, kind of adapt, and then kind of realize, well, maybe that whole totally skeptical mindset's a little bit wrong. Like, because it doesn't really explain when you're not talking about this and other people come to you and start talking about the shadows moving makes them uncomfortable.
Right. So in other words, you can't hide from it. It's in your face, and the people are telling you about it too.
Yeah, it
That's
was in my face. It was in my face, and that like
yeah.
precipitated the normal shamanic sickness I had to reorder my life. You know, the classic story where at that point, like, I had to reevaluate things, and you know, had a brush with homelessness. It's like right after that, so I could get my feet understanding this stuff.
Right.
So I don't recommend people be that stubborn in the face of evidence, because the universe has a way of just sort of giving you more intense messages as you refuse to listen. And so that was kind of my experience. Was rough. Then it got a little better as I started getting better at this stuff. I sort of realized, you know, that skepticism's not necessarily a bad trait
Right.
either. Like, all this is sort of a good trait, and I can sort of, I don't necessarily have to do the things that maybe other people find distasteful. I don't have to go all in and sort of believe, because you can actually get reasonable evidence as you sort of
Right. Right.
practice the techniques. Like, at least the reasonable evidence, and maybe not the classic physics sense of evidence, because that's really hard,
Right.
but social science level of evidence you probably could get in your personal life to say, well, there's a lot of coincidences and a
Yeah.
lot of correlations, and it's a little tough to start ignoring all that.
You're right, right. Yeah, well, it does kind of come with you and kind of lets it in your face kind of a thing. But this actually then leads us directly into me asking you from your point of view, not anyone else's, but your point of view, what does it mean to be that chaos magician or whatever you want to deemly call yourself?
I think it comes down to one thing. There may not be an ultimate truth, and I'm okay with that.
Right,
I really am. Like there, or another way to say it that everyone will say it is everything is true, or nothing is true, everything is permitted. And what they're talking about in truth is we really can't separate our experience from the systems we're working with.
right,
And the idea that something that's older is true is just ridiculous,
right,
right? Because how does some of this stuff come about? And the more you study, the more you realize, how did some of this stuff come about? Like it came about through people telling stories in taverns, and then it gets written down, and all of a sudden it gets written down in another book. And 3 books later, we're playing the telephone game, and all of a sudden, this is this is the truth.
yeah,
It's in
yeah,
this book. But that can't be true, because like when you study the actual even grimoire magic, like straight ceremonial hardcore magic, when you read them, and I mean and really read them, these are guys, and they're mostly guys at that period from the Middle Ages.
right,
These are guys writing down their personal field notes of sort of, well, this seemed to work and this didn't seem to work. And
right,
they're using like high Latin phrase, but when you actually read them, they're phrased as, we tried this experiment and this is the result that we got.
yeah,
Again, they're not speaking the language of truth. They're also speaking the language of science, of
right,
testing,
right. Of what
and of
works.
right, and what works versus sort of accepting, okay, this is the way it is.
Right,
Um, because there's consequences to that, right? Like,
right,
so
right,
it's harder to get evidence. You have to work at it.
right,
It also lets you innovate and let you look at, like, maybe you don't need gold to summon the spirit because it works just fine with gold paper.
right.
That costs a lot less right
Yeah,
now, like way less right now. Uh, but again, like that is sort of the defining factor of like why as me as chaos magic do I think these things are out there? Yeah, something's out there. Do I know exactly what? No, and it tends to mirror whatever I think at the time,
right,
right? So there's weird stuff out there, and whatever I expect is what I tend to get.
right,
Like if I truly believe in it, if I truly like expect a certain thing, and if you could change your expectations, all of a sudden you get different things
right,
from some of these rituals that cannot, if it was absolutely true, like it should be absolutely the same every single time, and no one
right,
has that experience. No one.
right. Hence chaotic magic kind of a thing.
Hence
Um,
chaos magic, right?
yeah, yeah. Okay, so how is, and I know you kind of indicated some parts of this, but how is magic a part of your lifestyle on a daily basis kind of a thing?
Mm. I mean, I have my own sort of exercises to do every day, but we run a cult shop. We see all kinds of strange people, right?
Right,
I mean, at night. I mean, I also have a day job too, but I kind of go through my own chakra work every single day. I kind of reflect on sort of how am I living in line with myself. Um, am I moving in a direction that's in line with myself? You
right,
know, do I know what that means today? Some days I don't, and that's okay. Maybe that means I need to do some ritual work to clear my head out, to get some ideas to illuminate where am I
mm,
going. Where am I going?
right,
And then sort of asking, what am I meditating? Obviously the chakras work that I described, but asking the question like, am I more than I was yesterday?
mm,
Am I not necessarily, or am I at least just a little different than yesterday? You
right,
know,
right.
did I change something? Did I mutate or grow?
Mhm,
Um,
mm,
am I less defined by my circumstances today than I was yesterday? Um,
that's interesting. That's really interesting because it kind of then kind of segues really nicely into me asking you what has become important to you then, like in
well,
general or magic or
I
whatever.
mean, I mean, I just had a child 7 months ago, and
Oh my,
that's
congratulations.
my first baby. All of a sudden,
You,
that became
you was
very important,
yeah,
very very important. But in actuality, like I'm a slightly older gentleman. I never expected to have a child, and honestly, I was vastly, vastly abused as a child and through most of my life. So to have a child, it's almost full circle. Like, yeah, it's almost full circle, and like, there's some real alchemy that has to happen for me not to repeat the pattern. For me, even to a- allow the possibility of a child giving that background
right,
means that I have went through a lot of personal alchemy to be able to first take the child, be able to accept that yes, I have a partner that really supports me, and I love her very much, and she loves me. That's the first thing. Hard for somebody who's abused, right? So that's alchemy, proof of alchemy, number one. And
right,
second, that I can actually reasonably believe that despite an upbringing that was volatile and highly abusive, that I have grown over those circumstances
right.
to actually be able to have a kid and feel safe. Like that I'm bringing this person, I brought this person in the world, and she is awesome, and I'm not fucking it up so far.
Awesome, awesome. That's again, congratulations. When you said child, I presumed that the child was older. I did not
No,
presume that
no,
it was a baby,
uh,
baby. Wow,
it's a
congratulations.
baby. So yeah, uh,
Baby, baby.
but
Okay.
that changes a lot of this
Your
perspective, right? Like,
perspectives, yeah, as to what's
right,
important. You're like, ooh,
for instance, like once I found out my wife was pregnant, like then I sort of not too far after that successfully pitched a book to Wiley for Dummy's Guide to Chaos Magic. And why did I do that? Because basically this is a book that I'm writing that I have to leave a legacy for my daughter of
right.
magical books, so she can like see, hey, this is like, here's your father's like writings and your father's like secret writings for you, you
Right.
know, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome though. You're thinking ahead now. You see how things have changed that
Yeah,
you're not thinking in the
right.
moment anymore. You're thinking longevity, legacy, and all the other things that comes with
Right. Instantly you think about legacy because like, oh
yeah,
yeah, I got a
yeah.
daughter. I want to make sure that if my daughter pursues magic, I want to make sure
She has
even
something
if
there
even
behind
if
her.
I'm not around, she's got some good guides to do
Yeah,
so. So
that's
I'll write
awesome.
them myself.
Yeah, that's, that's so interesting. What would you like to see us as a magical community accomplish?
I think as a community, we have some problems. We really need to get over ourselves and sort of look at the world. Like the world is kind of went to hard all of a sudden. I think the magical community hasn't come to grasp with a lot of convergence of hard things that are happening at once.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that in the witch wars. The other thing, it's like, are you guys, everyone, women, guys, everyone, looking at what's going on here? Like, we need to put that stuff aside. I think. I mean, really, because for everyone, the difficulty got moved to hard. So we need to start helping each other if we're going to be a real community.
Right.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, like at
Yeah.
Wuji, I mean, kind of posted a link. We sort of have food in stockpiles in case people who come to the store and are sort of coming to rituals, they need food because basically that's sort of where we're at. And even though Toronto's an insanely pretty safe city, like it's getting hard, when
Yeah.
gas prices are so expensive. Like, and like
It's hard
I
here.
think I think one of the things I've always believed is, if someone's sick in the community, the number of people that visit them in the hospital is the strength of your community.
Right, right. It's that's getting harder to do, even like to get on the subway or different things. Everything's gone up. You mentioned that.
Right.
Yeah, it's expensive here now for a lot of things, that I've never seen in my lifetime. Right now, 4.50 a gallon near me. The closest gas
Crazy.
station,
Crazy.
4.50 a gallon. I have never seen, not for the, because I get regular basic, I'm going for the cheapest one. I am not doing premium or the little one in middle state. I'm doing the cheapest, and 4.50 is the cheapest. And I'm sitting there going, are you bloody kidding me? Kind of a thing. So I'm trying to chintz my gas and not drink so much.
Right. And I think as a community, right, we're very segmented. There's chaos magicians, there's
Mm.
theistic Satanists, there's pagans, there's Wiccans. But in reality, we're sort of all alternative religions,
Yeah.
and in reality, like the real communities, like this is one of the things that COVID did to everyone. Is sort of everyone's sort of been clamming up and staying online.
Right.
We're past the point in sort of what's going on externally in the hard mode that's going to work anymore.
Right.
Like you got to get out there and meet actual people, like, and start actually. For me, it's I really sort of have a belief that as people embrace magic, sort of this chaos of right now, they'll be able to sort of better. Oh, I said the chaos word, but I mean that the chaos that's going on right now could be
Yeah.
better mastered, and you'll get better. So, from like a spiritual point of view, the better your techniques of magic, the better your connections with your various divine entities, all of this stuff that you can actually manifest in this world, the more likely you're going to be okay, and the more
Right.
likely you're going to be able to have everyone around you that you care about okay.
Right.
Um, and so it's sort of like at that point, it's easy to kind of sit in the house, I think, and just say, "Oh, everything's terrible, everything's
Right.
horrible."
Right.
But you really got to go out and make new connections,
Yeah.
and those new connections, like what you'll find is they'll sort of under stress. Like obviously, you have to be careful in the modern world, but you know what? You just pray to your spirit guides. You can pray, do rituals to sort of keep the bad away. Just banish every day. The new people you meet, I promise you, will probably be pretty good if you're doing that kind of stuff, removing the bad energy from your life.
Right.
In which
Right.
case, like,
You gotta work
you
whatever
need
you gotta work.
exactly, and it could just be going to an event that you normally would go to just to see who's there, because
Right.
that's truthfully after COVID. I think we've all gotten a habit of staying in. I mean, we're on an online show, and that's beautiful because technology is sort of a type of magic, but in
Yeah.
a way too, like we also had a tarot night here, and like there was like about 10 people at our store tonight, kind of reading and doing tarot together and sort of working together. So again, that's so important because at this point, like you need other people you can talk to, like because it's like it's getting weird.
Right.
And by
Right.
weird, I mean it's like it's hard for one person to be able to accept the weirdness alone, like not the weirdness but the pressure alone. And it helps if other people are like, yeah, this is also going on. Well,
Right.
maybe we can collectively do something about it. Maybe even being around other people that sort of understand what you're doing as a witch or shaman or whatever you call yourself
Right.
is intensely helpful.
Right.
um
Okay. Sounds good. Um, Thank you. That's a lot of really great answers that you're giving us. What projects do you have coming up now? Like, I don't know if I think you said it, you're in the process of writing another book and things like that. So what other projects do you have going on?
yeah, I pitched a book that's the Dummy's Guide for Chaos Magic, or Chaos Magic for Dummies, which that's Wiley, so that's pretty big. I
Uh-huh.
have that's the yellow and black little books, and
Uh-huh.
so now I think Chaos Magic's pretty much made it. We're getting
Right.
our own dummies. We're getting our dummies book now, right?
Okay.
So um, I've almost finished pitching, and they're going to take it. I think is a book on group magic.
Okay.
So the pitfalls of sort of a non-dogmatic, non-totally one paradigm, multiple paradigms of how you actually manage the energies of a group and manage group magic, which is a topic I think lots of people are somewhat interested in, but there's always problems with groups. So you have to mitigate both psychological group agreements, and there's got to be a lot of knowledge of what the energy is like when you start sharing in a group.
Yeah.
And because basically bad stuff can happen in a group when you're not prepared, when people aren't
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of not understanding the sort of, well, we have to first understand intimacy can happen without sex. That's the first big thing. And essentially, what does that mean? You know, because people who are in covens, they know, I think they have a lot of experience. Like, guess what? There's a lot of intimacy. And it's not necessarily properly processed. Like, how do you
Right.
process it? How do you keep that energy flows, and how do you not let it lead to things that maybe you don't intend as an
Right.
accident of the actual
That's
process
good.
of energetic work. Um, I
Yeah.
have to write the selling marketing pitch, but I think you can kind of hear where the book's going.
Yeah.
Because
Because I teach in our school. I teach people the concept of how it is with solitary, not solitary, well, solitary ritual, group ritual within your private specter of the temple, and then when we do the big
Mhm.
public rituals, how very different everything is, and how we have to change up how the perspective of the community that's there. You
Yeah, and
know,
I
so I
fully
have to teach all of that differences, and so I've been doing that for years, so I know exactly what you mean, and that's
yeah.
not something
So
everyone knows how to do.
no, so I plan to write about the last two. This I figure there's enough books on solo magic, but the last two they described right there, that's going to be part of the book. Like
Yeah,
temple,
that's awesome.
making temples, and then these large public groups. Like
Right.
how do you make these public? We've all, I think, everyone, maybe myself included, probably you too. You probably been at bad public rituals that were not so energizing. Um, because
Again,
there's
because
just
they don't know. They really do not know because they
you don't.
presume, especially covens, not I'm not saying in general, I'm just saying a lot of them I have witnessed when they're coming from the coven stead motif or point of view, and they go into a public setting of where there's a big group, they don't know how to bring everyone in to make it part of it, and
Yeah,
they tend to make this small thing in the middle, and they just do their ritual and everybody just observe like if it's a theater. And I don't
and
believe in theater, I believe in participation kind of a thing.
and exactly. And there's sort of when you study different traditions, um, sort of like to take the chaos magic approach. There are different approaches to
Right.
actually make this work. Like, and
Right.
there's sort of like ways that you can abstract out of the traditions, as it were.
Mm.
What is the mechanisms that? How would you make these things work?
Right.
And like, I've been sort of taking notes for about a year now. I got to make the pitch. It's gonna fly. At first,
Right.
they're like, well, who really wants group work? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone I know who's a
I'm surprised.
hardcore magician is like having these same group problems where how do they get the temple rituals to work better? And then like when they go out in public and they sort of
Yeah.
do the pagan pride or something like that, how do they get
That's where
these
I witnessed it.
rituals?
You're so right.
Yeah,
That's where I witnessed all of
like,
that. Yeah.
and they've talked to me about it. It's not like they're like, oh yeah, they're like, well, how did you get these pagan pride rituals to work where everyone's involved? I'm like, yep, there's a certain set of mechanisms that you have to
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
That's very different from a coven, and a certain set of assumptions, and you can practice that. Like, and
Right.
there's sort of ways to sort of, even though most of the people are just coming to ritual, maybe for the first time or one time in the whole year, there's ways to sort of mitigate that and
Right.
sort of give people real experiences. And sort of I'm basically, yeah, giving
No, you're
secrets, and
right. You're
not really the
absolutely correct.
secrets,
You're absolutely
but
correct. And it's good to hear you saying it because you're basically giving a lot of the essentials of what goes into group practice out, because a lot of people think, well, I run covens, I'm a priestess or a priest or whatever it is, I know what I'm doing. And they get in front of a real big group and they don't know how to guide them into everyone participating to enjoy it. And that's something that you've got to do. That's what you're there for.
yeah, that's what they're there for. That's exactly what, like, those big ritual. Well, I think we're both idealistic. That's exactly what I would hope every ritual is at a festival or pagan pride,
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
come out there and we're like, oh yeah, like, mwah.
Well, I was lucky one time. I was really shocked because that was my first like huge one. We invited people to Central Park at for Beltane. It was at the dairy, it was called, right in Central Park, right at 50 something and on Broadway up there. And we thought, okay, maybe 25, 30 people. There was almost 300 people. We were like, okay, so how do we do this? Well, I said, for one, everybody project your voices, and we're going to
Yeah,
invite everyone. And we handed out, it's a good thing we brought some rituals with songs so they can all participate and chant and stuff like that. And
yeah, yeah,
we said, this is not a spectator sport. Everyone, we want you guys to participate, and everybody enjoyed it. We had people drumming, we had people doing all kinds of different things. So they can all feel like they're part of this and not just here to be a spectator. So it was kind of cool. We know we weren't prepared, but we knew how to adapt to it because we practiced it all.
Exactly. See, we're on the same page. Like I'm saying this stuff, but like I think there's a real need for this. Like I think
There is. There is.
um,
So I can't wait to read
uh,
your book.
so there you go. See,
Yeah.
like there we go. So like because I think most of the problems when you go to public rituals comes down from people not sort of understanding the energy dynamics at this level.
Mm.
Like it's not actually an insult to them. Like who does group rituals for 50 to 100 to 300 people on a regular
Yeah.
basis?
Especially when you weren't
Like,
expecting it, at all. I think the
right.
village
And
voice is what picked it up and made it go into this whole thing of big. And I was like, oh my goddess, we are here with a lot of people. We didn't expect this.
exactly. And there's like assumptions about coven intimacy that you don't have in those big
Yeah.
rituals.
Yeah.
Like covens could actually have one table where everyone's watching, but because the coven's so intimately connected, they're going to get an energy from that ritual.
Mm.
Like there's other ways to do that too, but
Yeah.
even the fact they're well connected means that sort of their involvement is there, their engagement is there from the start
Yeah.
because there's a trust, there's relationships, all those things build up the sort of
Right.
natural engagement in a ritual, like a natural spreading of the energy just by the fact that everyone's really kind of close in most covens,
Right.
like unless the
Right.
coven just started.
Right.
So there's cheat codes in the coven that let it go a little easier based
Right.
on the level of connection the individual members have. And
Right.
again, like if it's a newer coven, then it's going to look more like the public rituals where you have a small group, but you still have to use better techniques of engagement till there's a
Right.
natural sort of connection between all people. And I
Right.
think
That's
there's
awesome.
also the bad side, right? Like, which is what I really want to talk about too. People misunderstand what that connection actually means. Like, of course, I have a connection, and oftentimes what it comes down to, I have a connection with this person, and that means I'm attracted to this person. And that's not necessarily the case, right? Because you have an energy connection because of group ritual.
Right.
And all those things kind of get out of hand. Well, how many
And it
covens
can.
do we
It
know
can,
that
unfortunately. It can.
totally blow up because people assume an energy connection or connection in that point
And it
is
becomes
attraction,
dangerous, yeah,
right?
or disruptive within the group.
Or disruptive, counterproductive to
Yeah.
the sort of to the coven, because basically maybe you have a natural trust bond,
Right.
and it kind of can easily get, our minds kind of make it,
Right.
unless you put the right definitions on it, the right sort of, this is not the same as this. It's sort of, well, one sort of connection is the same, right? Like,
Right.
but they're not. There's
Right.
different connections, and I think I see this a lot when
Right.
people are doing actual lots of magic. What happens is this exactly happens. People get seemingly confused, like, okay, we're doing lots of magic, and I'm really attracted to this other person. But are you
Right.
really attracted to them? Maybe it is true you are
Or
attracted to
just
them.
magically energy connection or something like that. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
or
things like that to worry about. Yeah.
yeah, or is it because you're doing ritual that your brain wants to interpret that as sort of that connection as a mutual attraction?
Right.
Like,
Right.
again, like, so you see,
There's
I think I've seen a lot of covens and temples sort of self-destruct because of
yeah.
this very issue. Because
Yeah.
people, it's never talked about openly. Like, connecting energy between people means there's a connection between people. And unfortunately, in our current society, we're mostly taught that means some sort of sexual attraction or
Right.
some sort of
When there's
direct,
probably none, or anything like that. But
or there
yeah.
doesn't, have to be, because of basically, um, I'm not going to say there's not an attraction there all the time, but I'm saying more often than not, it's essentially a product of the magic. It's a
Right.
connection, but because, like, sort of, the normative society says, well, if you have a connection, that usually means romantic,
Yeah.
because there's a connection, an intimate connection, and
Right.
so this idea that intimacy necessarily relates to, like, only sexual intimacy is something that
Right.
I think is a conditioned product of our whole society that you have to take a step back from and try to say, not necessarily.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be that way.
Well,
Um,
so are you going to put some of that in your book?
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I can't wait to read that. I can't wait to read that. So, my last question for you is, what events do you have this year coming up for yourself that you think you'd be able to make it to?
Well, I think this year, because I have a new baby, there's not many. I'm going to go to WitchCon. I'm
Well,
going to
you
go to
did
WitchCon.
WitchCon. You did WitchCon in February. I was there with you. I did
I
WitchCon.
know. I'm
Yeah,
going to do WitchCon again. I'm getting my application done,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then
I just did mine actually.
uh, that was supposed to get done today. That didn't quite happen, and
Yeah.
then from there we're going to kind of see, like, because I have a store, we'll see, kind of like if anyone wants me to come out. You know, there's a lot less events in Canada, so I have to think about that a little bit. Like, but I'm open if people would
Yeah.
like me to kind of come over and like help me out with the travel. What I can make an appearance. I'd be happy to.
I
So
think that's the issue right now. A lot of people are going through a lot of event planners are going through financial issues to bring people over because we've had a few Canadian people who usually come over for events and they've said they're running into trouble. They're not doing the traveling across to the US right now. They're not
yeah,
going to do it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't
There's a
blame
lot
them
of
for some of the issues they've had. I don't blame them at all. So I understand.
exactly, exactly. That said, like I'm open. I'm somewhat
Yeah.
open to that.
All right. So
And
people, you
so
hear that, right? He's Andrea is open to traveling and
yeah,
being
I'm open, open.
within
I
reason
mean,
because he just had a son. I mean, a daughter. Sorry.
a daughter. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah. And the thing is, like, it's funny we're talking about. I got to say this aside because people will get my daughter loves angel magic so much. It's
Oh my
just
gosh,
amazing.
that's so awesome. That
Oh
means
my
she's
God.
really
But
accepting.
we bring her to some angel rituals, like Jupiterian angel rituals, and I swear she might be crying the whole day. She gets into there, we start like blah 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 ata milku, quiet, totally quiet, like just little laughter, right up till the ritual is done. And then one for like, thank you very much for coming. It ended, and then she's like,
What did you do? Why did you send
"Ah,
them away?
ah."
Yeah. She's
Exactly.
pissed.
We
She's
and it.
pissed.
I mean, it's totally consistent. 100%. She's like, "What? Why did you
Why
tell
did
this
you do
angel to go?
that?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why
Oh,
did you do that,
no.
Dad? Like, and it's. I mean, 100% of the time she'll be like, "Huh?" Like literally, you can look at her face. She's like,
What did you do? Bah!
"What?
One of these
Why is it
days you're
not
gonna get a
here?"
smack and you're gonna wonder what
What?
what
What?
what did I do?
It's
And you'll
hilarious.
know
Like,
why. You'll know why.
yeah, probably, but like, it's hilarious because it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
awesome.
she's been at luck rituals, like wealth rituals, same thing, everything beneficial. Like she's like, oh, I love it. And the minute you're like, why did you just
Why did
let
you
the
send them
spirit
away?
go? Yeah,
Why?
why
Why?
did you do that? Like anger,
There
like
you
so.
go. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff.
She knows already, like she knows her stuff, right? So like,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Andrea, it is such a pleasure having you here tonight. As you guys can see, we have his information scrolling across the screen. So if you'd like to, please reach out if you can. If you want them to reach you on Facebook or Instagram, is there anything you want to add to that, or just the
oh
website?
yeah, I mean, on Facebook I'm the most active. My page is just Andrieh Vitimus. Uh, but I have a TikTok page which we're gonna have more stuff on soon. And although I would say follow me because we've got everything ready to start a video cast, but it won't be a normal cast. It'll be hilarious. I don't want to give out too many details, but I'll just say, I promise it'll be so hilarious. Like that'll be worthwhile. So if you keep following my web page and sort of the store page, you'll start seeing us creep in more references. We just got all the equipment because we needed equipment like for this to podcast, to do the performance of this podcast, right? Right. We have a performance. It's not just us sitting there. I'm like, and it's gonna be hilarious. And we're like, we're just about ready to beta test everything because I don't want to even say the name yet. But I'll tell you, like, it's our name is a pun off of the famous fake book called the Necromonicon.
Oh,
Um,
okay, all right.
but it's completely a pun when you hear
Okay.
the name, but I want to totally say it yet. But I'll tell you, it's going to be hilarious. The whole point is to be funny and actually give useful information. So, like, just give us a couple more weeks and you'll start seeing little references, and then you'll
Awesome.
actually see the first couple beta shows that we're going to release, because it's something that honestly has never been tried, never been done exactly
Okay.
in
All
the
right. I
spiritual
would look
meta,
forward to seeing it.
never in the spiritual metaphysical sense have I
Right.
saw a show like what we're going to do. I have
Okay.
seen other shows like what we're going to try, but not in the occult or pagan communities.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking forward to that. As you said, we want to thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. All right, that is some of our shows that are coming up or has been showing already this month, and we have some new ones starting up next month. We're going to have the commercial for that soon as well. And now on with astrology. All right, so tonight we are going to continue, and I was going to do the last five of the signs, but with Rhonda unable to be here tonight, this is a lot of talking for me, so I'm going to do three. Okay, so we're going to begin. Going to go from I think it's Scorpio to Capricorn, I believe. I'm not sure, or Scorpio to Sagittarius. I'm not sure. Anyways, we're going to do three more right now tonight. Okay, so for the March 2026 horoscope tarot forecast for all of the 12 signs, again, we're doing the three of them tonight, plus the design tips to attract good luck this month. We're going to begin with Scorpio horoscope for March 2026. And the tarot prediction card for Scorpio in March 2026 is the King of Wands. Now, where are we? Where's my King of Wands? Oh, I have it in my hand. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see this well. So the King of Wands has got you stepping into your power this month, Scorpio. The King of Wands represents mastery, charisma, and focused ambition. You've moved from proving yourself to leading with confidence. And this card brings authority and momentum. People look to you for direction, not because you demand it. Okay, keep that in mind. It's not because you demand it, but because your energy commands respect. March asks us to take bold, purposeful action while staying true to your deeper values. You're bursting with creative ideas, but discernment is essential. Choose the ventures that ignite genuine passion instead of spreading your fire too thin. This is also a month for mentorship and mentorship receiving. Leadership becomes your art form when anchored in integrity. And by the time March closes, you'll be standing exactly where you set out to be, not by force, but through outrageous clarity and self belief that inspires everyone around you. The design tips for Scorpio this March is the King of Wands thrives in spaces that project strength, purpose, and magnetic warmth. For Scorpio, this means pairing drama with refinement. Think with think rich textures and confident design that feels intentional rather than loud. Deep tones like burnt sienna, espresso, or ochre create depth and sophistication, while accents of brass or bronze add brilliance and command. Statement lighting, sculpting, or sculptural chandeliers or directional lamps ensures presence without clutter, and incorporate tactile materials that show craftsmanship like leather, wood, or linen. Display a powerful piece, oversized artwork, a striking sculpture, or an antique chair as a focal point of authority. Keep the layout open and dynamic, reflecting your decisiveness and flow. Layer accents like cedar or amber to ground the space. This month, your home should echo the king's spirit, bold yet controlled. expressive yet stable, a reflection of vision lived fully and fearlessly. All right, so that is the King of Wands for Scorpio. So the next card is for Sagittarius. Okay, and Sagittarius is the Knight of Swords, which is this one. The Knight of Swords. Okay, this is the Knight of Swords. So Sagittarius, you're moving fast. Your mind is sharp, motivation, fierce, and words ready before the world catches up. The Knight of Swords fuels ambition, bravery, and quick thinking, making March a month to chase what excites you. Momentum is strong, but direction matters more than speed. Do not rush into commitments or arguments just because the energy feels urgent. I want you to focus on clarity of purpose before you act. This card also highlights communication, bold, direct, and potentially game changing if handled with precision. Use your voice, but listen as well. Wisdom travels both ways. The challenge lies in patience, in remembering that steady focus turns bright sparks into lasting fire. By month's end, what begins as a strong intention becomes a productive movement. You'll have proved that discipline and daring can coexist beautifully when you lead with conviction, not impulse. Design tips for Sagittarius this March is this month's energy suits interiors that inspire clarity, movement, and focus. The Knight of Swords thrives in environments that feel light and minimal. So perfect for Sagittarius exploratory spirit. Keep spaces open and streamlined with clear sight lines and strategic placement of furniture to promote flow. A palette of cool neutrals like silver gray, stormy blue, and crispy white enhances alertness and mental clarity. Introduce metal elements such as chrome lighting, framed mirrors, or sleek hardware to evoke precision and forward motion. Lighting is essential. Bright task lamps or directional floor lamps mimic the card's decisive energy. Avoid heavy fabrics or cluttered decor that slows the space. Okay? Um, a simple writing nook or workstation can serve as headquarters for your next pursuit. Add one dynamic element, such as a statement print or accent wall, to channel your drive. And your home becomes your launch pad, clean, focused, and ready for action. All right? Good advice with that one. Okay, the next one is, and last one for tonight, is Capricorn. And yours is the Ace of Wands. Okay, take a look at that, the Ace of Wands. So your tarot card for March is something that sparks this month, new ideas, opportunities, or burst of passion that reignites your drive. The Ace of Wands has a surge of potential energy, enthusiasm meets purpose, and motivation awakens after a slower stretch. You're being encouraged to take the initiative to follow curiously before doubt has time to interfere. And this may relate to your career, creative life, or your personal goal that's been quietly simmering. Trust your instincts. Inspiration rarely waits for permission. The early stages might feel uncertain, but every great endeavor begins with a spark. You have the discipline to turn excitement into sustainable effort. The ace provides the vision. You supply the truth. Okay? By month's end, momentum builds, and what begins as a flicker of interest turns into something with real promise, reminding you that boldness and groundedness can coexist beautifully when you act from genuine passion, and people will see that. Okay, your design tips for Capricorn this month. The Ace of Wands energy brings life, vitality, and creative fire into your home. For Capricorn, this means balancing excitement with intent. Design what that motivates while staying anchored in quality. Refresh your workspace or an often used area to symbolize new beginnings for you. Use warm, energetic colors like terracotta, ochre, and burnt orange paired with calming neutrals to keep ambition focused, not frantic. Introduce dynamic shapes like asymmetrical vases or abstract artwork to encourage movement and originality. Natural materials such as linen and hammered metal provide texture without distraction. Keep the environment uncluttered but alive. adding something that feels symbolic or ignition, a candle, a blooming plant, or a sculptural lamp. Open windows daily to let air and light circulate, fueling both energy and clarity. Okay. And this month, let your surroundings reflect your inspiration in motion. Grounded ambition meeting creativity or creative renewal, where every corner feels ready for something new to begin. All that new beginnings that's going on, right? Okay. So on with the tarot. Let's do our reading, okay? All right. So since if you look at a lot of the readings that was done for you guys with the cards so far tonight, um it pretty much a lot of new beginnings were being talked about. And then of course adding into the fact that today began the equinox, the spring equinox, new beginnings, everything about this is new fertility, new beginnings, manifesting all those different things. So let's do a card draw for that, on what new beginnings or what things that you see coming up for you this season. Okay. So whether you're in the here with us live or in the playback, I want you to shuffle that deck and think about that card that you want to pull, one card that you want to pull for that represents new beginnings for you and moving forward with this season. Okay. All right. For me, that's interesting. I got the Knight of Wands. Okay. And for the Knight of Wands, that's interesting. I have been planning to write books, and I've started a couple of them. That I've started one on regular witchcraft, and the one the witchcraft that I teach in our school, in family, the Academy of Pagan Studies, and also one on Obia, which is my heritage from Trinidad and Tobago, and to cover some of the rest of the Caribbean islands and what some of their type of Obia is like. So to me, that creative knight, what is it? Yeah, Knight of Wands. That's what it kind of represents for me with the new beginnings of I started these things and I want to finish them up to the point where I can put them out so that people can have some of the teachings. The thing is that I find with a lot of it is that so many things have been written about witchcraft and different things that people say or think or thoughts, and so I want to see where I take with it, because I have a problem with certain things being in books as if authors know what they're saying and doing, and a lot of it is very inaccurate. So we shall see. We shall see. But it means a lot for me in terms of like where I'm going with a lot of what I want to write about. So it's interesting that I got that card. So I would love to hear what you guys got, and you can write it down or talk about it, and see if any of it means anything to you personally. Okay. Again, it's such a missing Rhonda so much, right? You guys missing her. Just wanted to say again, our next guest will be on March 27th, and that's Tabitha Moonchild. And Star, even Rhonda is not here. Even though she's not here, both her and I would like to say thanks to all of you in the chat tonight, and a thank you to our special guest, Andrieh Vitimus, for joining us here tonight. We so appreciated his wisdom that he offered from his Chaos Magic book. And we want to wish him all the best and thank him again. And it was such a pleasure having him here. So, as per usual, Rhonda usually says this, but I'm going to say it. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else you see us, in order for us to keep bringing more of these shows. And I will see you guys all next week. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy your Ostara, and all the best, all the many things. That's blessings of everyone for everyone this coming season. See you all next week. Take care.